Welcome to the Working Man Committee Podcast. I am your host, Brandon T. Happy Monday, peoples. And like I said, Working Man Committee is a place where the working man comes to get his information that you need to know. And with that being said, working man, and when I say working man, I mean men, women, whoever out here getting it. And I said, let's get started. So over the weekend, it's been all over social media. Two crazy things. I'm gonna chalk them into the wild and crazy. And so what happened was there was a big brawl and a riot. And so let's talk about the brawl. So in Montgomery, Alabama, there was altercations happened with a big fight and so forth. And so within this fight, so it was two sides. It was looks like from reports a bunch of white people on one side, a bunch of black people on the other side, and they were like I said, a big melee. And so I'm gonna go to news. Let's see, WVTM 13 to tell you what happened if you missed it.
Montgomery arresting several people after a brawl along the riverfront. This fight is getting national attention. It started Saturday night after a witness claims a pontoon boat was blocking the dock where a riverboat was trying to park. Well, video that has since gone viral then shows a group fighting with a man who looked to be in a uniform working on the dock. Well, as the brawl continues, video appears to show a young man swimming in the water to help the man. In a statement from his family's publicist, the young man has been identified as Aaron. The statement reads, "In the face of adversity, Aaron selflessly came to the rescue of a fellow colleague, showcasing courage beyond his years." Montgomery's mayor also commenting on this situation. He said, in part, the Montgomery Police Department acted swiftly to detain several reckless individuals for attacking a man who was doing his job. He adds, warrants have been signed and
Cool.
justice will
So
be served.
what that is, like I said, it's a big melee, and it was very dramatic and so forth. Like I say, so just describe what it happened. What you saw was looked like security guard was trying to uh, to do his job, to have people move their boats and so forth, so other ones could park. And that escalated all the way to a big brawl fight. You know what I'm saying? When you put alcohol and that stuff in it in the summer heat, you know what I'm saying? You get all types of crazy stuff out of that. And so that happened. And like I said, and the public came to the security guard's defense. And to the point where, like I said, the last story that she was talking about the young man, you know, what I'm saying he jumped in the water and swam across to help the guy. Cause like I said, they were, you know, what I'm saying it was several on one at one time, and then two, everybody came in and big brawl happened and so forth. Like I said, now now everybody got to deal with the consequences of that action. And then two, next crazy thing that happened was in New York City. And I will let New York's ABC station tell you what happened there.
Tonight, mayhem in Manhattan with thousands of young people packing the streets for a social media star's video game giveaway.
There are several thousand people here.
The crowd swelling as New York City's evening rush hour got underway.
People have been throwing things at each other as well as at police in the street. So this has become a very dangerous situation.
People climbing on cars, statues, and subway stations after Twitch streamer Kai Cenat announced to his 20 million social media followers he'd be giving away PlayStation 5 gaming systems, gift cards, and more.
It's $100 gift cards, Shaq. $100 gift cards all here, bro. We gonna go crazy for New York, man.
Police using plywood as a shield as they're pelted with bottles and other objects. Some officers reportedly injured. Sanat, seeing the police response,
Yo, Shaq, I know y'all here with me. It's time. But what goes on from here on out, bro, you feel what I'm saying? Everybody for themselves. Because there's a war out there, man.
and even briefly live streaming from inside the chaos as he was mobbed by fans. Or an SUV spotted speeding away with multiple people hanging on, the Twitch star possibly inside.
Oh, and then there just fell.
Yep. So Kai, That wasn't a good idea. Like I said, you incited what they call a riot. And I'm pretty sure that, you know what I'm saying, since there's officers hurt and people arrested, they're going to charge you with pretty much all of that. And so, like I said, like I said, when you're doing stuff like that, you got to be very mindful about what you're doing and how you're doing it. Because, like I said, yeah, like I said, permits and all that stuff need to happen because anybody could have got hurt. I mean, seriously hurt on, let's say, trying to be a participant and so forth. I mean, you remember what happened to Travis Scott at the concert, so you didn't want that to have happened. But like I said, it depends on how it all shake loose and so forth. What's going to what's going to happen at the end? Like I said, that was something that could have been avoided. You could have done something online or something, sent somebody something. But like I said, we'll see about that story and so forth. Like I said, though, working man, crazy things did happen this weekend and so forth. And we'll talk about more crazy things. We're gonna switch gears completely here. Now we're gonna talk about, you know what I'm saying, there's an election coming up and we got candidates running for office. And one of the candidates running for office is Mike Pence. And so Mike Pence, if y'all don't know who Mike Pence was or is and so forth, he's running for president on the Republican side, but he spent the last 4 years as the vice president. And so Mike Pence has was interviewed and talking about his former boss. So I'm gonna let Mike Pence tell you about that, and then we'll cover it when we come back. Go.
Of the indictment, I want the American people to know that I had no right to overturn the election. And then on that day, President Trump asked me to put him over the Constitution. But I chose the Constitution, and I always will. Anyone who puts themselves over the Constitution should never be president of the United States. And anyone who asks someone else to put themselves over the Constitution should never be president of the United States again. But what the president maintained that day, and frankly has said over and over again over the last 2.5 years, is completely false. I dismissed it out of hand, but sadly, the president was surrounded by a group of crackpot lawyers that kept telling him what his itching ears wanted to hear. And I had hoped that on this matter of January 6th, that it wouldn't come to this, because I do believe that this is going to further ignite the divide in the country. It'll be up to the government now to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that this actually represented criminal activity. But what I want the American people to know is that I know in my heart of hearts that I did my duty under the Constitution that day.
Mike Pence used the word Constitution in that minute clip 4 times. He wanted to let you know that he was following the Constitution. He alone, the only one that stood with the Constitution. That Mike Pence only thought about the Constitution and so forth. And if you don't think about the Constitution, you should not be president or be president again if you don't feel the same way he feels about the Constitution. See, Mike Pence, I'm gonna say this: Mike Pence's tone has changed. If y'all notice, Mike Pence's tone has changed a lot. And with this tone, his rhetoric has turned. Now you can say, "Hey, man, Mike Pence is running for president, and he wants the job and so forth," and I get it. Mike Pence wants a job, but Mike Pence, since his document issues, so back in February 10th, he was looked at by the Justice Department for documents. And curious enough, why would the Justice Department be looking at documents? Because it's not a statute, a criminal statute for the documents. It's about the it's just a regular rules and regulation type deal. And so why would they have looked at him? Why would they send the FBI to go rummaging around his house? And then out of that rummaging, how we get to where we at today. Because this reminds me, I want y'all to think with me, people. I'm gonna see. I want y'all to think with me. I don't know if any of y'all are fans of the show Billions from Showtime, but there was one season. There was a scene in there where the government lawyers were talking to the Treasury Secretary and trying to tell the Treasury Secretary in such a way that, you know what I'm saying, to get him to do something. But they said it in such a way like, yeah, we're going to let you know we're not investigating you. They kept saying that to him. I'm not looking at you at all. You know, sowing that seed of doubt in what's happening when they won't do anything. They just want to see what he would do. And it seemed like in this case here, they might have done something similar to old Mike Pence. And to the point where Mike Pence is jumping up and down, talking some the Constitution this and Constitution that and Constitution so forth. And so obviously, you know what I'm saying, somebody's influence on Mike Pence. Because, like I said, Mike Pence could have also know that there is a voting count act of 1887, I do believe it is, that would have shielded him. I mean, they could have used to have recounted ballots and so forth, and had, you know, some different mechanisms come in place. That's a part of the process, because like something like that did happen. That there was some gray area back then here. But like I said, somebody got to Mike Pence. Mike Pence is probably the chief witness in the January 6th of the indictments Trump got with the six unindicted co-conspirators and so forth. And so, like I said, Mike Pence his tone has changed, words have changed. I said Mike Pence was a very loyal guy when he was running for president, but now Mike Pence has changed. But like I said though, when they put that pressure on you, you know what I'm saying, you acquiesce. And with that being said, it's been the Working Man Committee podcast. I am your host, Brandon T. And I want y'all to like, subscribe, and like I said, it helps the channel out a lot. And with that being said, peace.